New UK Prime Minister Andy Burnham has unveiled his first cabinet, rewarding many of the MPs who stood by him during the successful bid to replace Keir Starmer as Labour leader and Prime Minister. Before taking office, Burnham has promised to build a cabinet that reflected all the wings of the Labour Party in an effort to present a more united and inclusive government. But while several experienced figures have been retained, the reshuffle has also seen a sweeping removal of ministers closely associated with the Starmer administration. Many of Starmer's closest allies have been dismissed from government altogether, while several senior ministers have either been moved to different roles or returned to the backbenches. The appointments provide the clearest indication yet of the direction Burnham intends to take his government. One of the biggest surprises is the appointment of Healey as Chancellor. The former Defence Secretary had resigned from Keir Starmer's government over disagreements surrounding defence spending, a move that many later viewed as one of the turning points in the weakened Starmer's premiership. Healey, who had been an MP since 1997, is regarded as one of Labour's most experienced and respected figures. Over nearly 3 decades in Parliament, he has served under Tony Blair and Gordon Brown, while later remaining a loyal member of the shadow cabinet of Ed Miliband, Jeremy Corbyn, and Keir Starmer. His ability to work across Labour's different ideological factions is believed to have been a major factor in Burnham's decision. As Chancellor, Healey is expected to focus heavily on industrial policy, economic growth, and increasing investment in Britain's defence sector, an issue that brought him into conflict with Rachel Reeves during the previous government. Several senior ministers have either remained in cabinet or taken on new responsibilities. Shabana Mahmood remains Home Secretary, continuing her work on immigration, policing, and criminal justice. Widely regarded as one of the Labour's toughest ministers, Mahmood associated with the socially conservative Blue Labour wing of the party and has earned a reputation for being decisive and disciplined. Ed Miliband becomes Foreign Secretary after missing out on the Treasury. The former Labour head is expected to oversee Britain's foreign policy, take a stronger position on the conflict in Gaza, and potentially push for restoring overseas aid spending to 0.7% of the national income. Yvette Cooper moves from the Foreign Office to become Health Secretary. Burnham has made reforming both the NHS and adult social care one of the flagship's domestic priorities, making Cooper one of the most important appointments in the new cabinet. Pat McFadden remains in government as Work and Pension Secretary, where he will oversee welfare reform and employment policy. One of Labour's most experienced operators, McFadden is expected to play a central role in balancing public spending while avoiding another internal rebellion over benefit reforms. Several of Burnham's closest political allies have been rewarded with senior cabinet positions. Louise Hayes becomes Chancellor of Duchy of Lancaster, her Secretary of State and Cabinet Office Minister, effectively making her Burnham's deputy inside the government. Hayes played a key role during Burnham's leadership campaign and will now oversee coordination across Whitehall. Jonathan Reynolds returns as Business Secretary after previously being moved out of the role under Starmer. A longtime friend and political ally of Burnham, Reynolds will oversee business, industry, and science as Burnham pushes his plans for an economic growth and reindustrialization. Angela Rayner returns to the housing brief after previously leaving cabinet. She will now oversee 2 of Burnham's biggest domestic promises, expanding council housing construction and delivering greater powers to local government. Lucy Powell becomes Education Secretary. Although she remains Labour's deputy leader, Burnham stopped short of making her Deputy Prime Minister. Annalise Midgley, who played an important organizational role during Burnham's leadership campaign, has been appointed Chief Whip and will now be responsible for maintaining party discipline in Parliament. Meanwhile, Wes Streeting takes over as Defence Secretary. Although often regarded as being on Labour's right, Streeting backed efforts to remove Starmer and remain one of Burnham's most senior appointments. He now faces the challenge of overseeing Britain's armed forces during a period of heightened international tensions while working alongside Chancellor Healey, who will ultimately control defence funding. Burnham has also appointed several newer faces. Mayata Fanbulle becomes Energy Secretary, where she will oversee Labour's energy transition and efforts to reduce household bills while maintaining a net zero commitments. Alex Norris is appointed Justice Secretary, overseeing courts, prisons, and legal reform. While Burnham has promoted many of his own supporters, the reshuffle has marked the end of the road for several of Keir Starmer's closest allies. Former Chancellor Rachel Reeves has been removed from government entirely. As Britain's first female Chancellor, Rees has overseen Labour's economic policy during its first years in office, restoring fiscal discipline and introducing spending controls across Whitehall. However, she also became closely associated with several unpopular decisions, including cuts to winter fuel payments and increases in employers' national insurance contributions. Measures critics blame for slowing economic growth and damaging Labour's politically. Despite reportedly being offered another senior role, Rees chose to leave government altogether. Former Foreign Secretary David Lammy has also been dismissed after years as one of Starmer's closest political allies. Lammy later said he would have been proud to continue serving, but accepted that every new Prime Minister is entitled to choose their own cabinet. Darren Jones, who had become one of the most influential figures inside Downing Street, also leaves government. Former Housing Secretary Steve Reed, Business Secretary Peter Kyle, Attorney General Richard Hermer, Science Secretary Liz Kendall, Wales Secretary Joe Stevens, and Northern Ireland Secretary Hilary Benn have all exited the cabinet as well. Many of those reporting had become closely identified with the Starmer project and its policy agenda. Taken together, Burnham's appointment suggests both continuity and significant change. Experienced ministers such as Healey, Cooper, McFadden, and Mahmood provide stability at the heart of government. At the same time, the promotion of close allies including Louise Haigh, Jonathan Reynolds, and Angela Rayner signals that Burnham intends to place trusted supporters in many of the most influential positions. The reshuffle also reflects a broader shift within Labour. While Burnham has pledged to build a cabinet representing different traditions within the party, the large-scale removal of Starmer loyalists indicates a clear break from the previous administration. With a new cabinet now in place, attention will turn to whether Burnham can unite the party while delivering on his promises of economic renewal, reindustrialization, public service reform, and greater devolution across the United Kingdom. For more such explainers, subscribe to DawnNews English.